Your morning does not belong to your inbox. It does not belong to your notifications. It does not belong to anyone's agenda but your own. And yet every single day, millions of people wake up and immediately hand their most powerful hours to chaos, to reaction, to whatever screams loudest. This is why they stay stuck. This is why they stay broke. This is why they stay exhausted. And this is why their dreams remain dreams. Let me tell you something that nobody else will tell you this clearly. When you wake up in the morning, your mental energy is at 100%, full capacity. Your willpower is strongest. Your focus is sharpest. Your ability to think clearly and make powerful decisions is at its absolute peak, 100%. This is the most valuable resource you have, more valuable than money, more valuable than time. Because without this energy, you cannot use your time effectively anyway. But here is what most people do. They wake up and immediately check their phone. There is a frustrating email. 10% of that battery gone before their feet even touch the floor. They scroll through social media and see someone living better than them. Another 5% drained into comparison and jealousy. They get into a stupid argument about something that will not matter in a week. 15% vanished into thin air. They leave the house late because they hit snooze 3 times. Now they are rushing. Now they are stressed. Now they are already losing. Then comes the commute. Traffic is backed up. Someone cuts them off. Someone honks. Someone nearly causes an accident. Their blood pressure spikes. Their jaw clenches. Their peace is completely destroyed. By the time they arrive at work, they are operating at 40% capacity, less than half. And now they are supposed to perform. Now they are supposed to be creative and focused and excellent, with less than half their mental battery remaining. They wonder why they feel exhausted by noon. They wonder why they keep making bad decisions. They wonder why they come home every night with nothing left to give. And here is the part that should terrify you. One bad morning becomes one bad day. One bad day becomes 2. 2 becomes a bad week. A bad week becomes a bad month. A bad month becomes a bad year. A bad year becomes a bad decade. And a bad decade. That is your life. Gone. Wasted. Because you never learned how to protect your morning. Your 9-to-5 job pays your bills, but your 9-to-5 does not build your future. What you do after your 9-to-5 is what defines where you will be in 10 years. But if you come home every single night completely drained with nothing left in the tank, you will never build anything. You will just survive. You will just exist. You will just trade hours for dollars until you are too old to trade anymore. This is not about waking up earlier. This is about waking up with intention. This is about building a morning so bulletproof, so protected, so completely owned by you that nothing and no one can derail you. This is about saving your energy for what actually matters, your performance, your goals, your future. What you are about to hear will fundamentally change how you approach the first moments of every single day. And when you change your morning, you change your day. When you change your day, you change your week. When you change your week, you change your year. When you change your year, you change your entire life. Listen closely. Your transformation starts right now. Now that you understand what is at stake, let me show you exactly how to fix it. You know the problem. You know that your mental battery drains throughout the day. You know that bad mornings compound into bad weeks and bad months and bad years, and eventually a bad life. You know that what you do after your 9-to-5 determines your future. You know all of this now. But knowledge without action is worthless. So let us build your bulletproof morning right now. Step by step, no fluff, no theory. Just exactly what you need to do. First, let me tell you why most morning routines fail. And they do fail, constantly. People get excited. They watch a video about some billionaire waking up at 4 in the morning and doing ice baths and meditating for 2 hours and journaling for 30 minutes and reading 50 pages before sunrise. They think this is the secret. So they try to copy it exactly, and within 3 days, they quit. They quit because it was never their routine. It was someone else's routine forced onto their life. It did not fit their schedule. It did not fit their responsibilities. It did not fit who they actually are. They were wearing someone else's armor and wondering why they could not move. Your bulletproof morning must be custom built. It must be designed around your life, your commitments, your goals, your energy levels, your reality. Stop copying, start building. Your morning, your rules, your life. Now let me give you the framework. Every bulletproof morning is built on 3 non-negotiables, 3 pillars that cannot be skipped, 3 elements that transform ordinary mornings into extraordinary launches. These 3 pillars are mind, body, and intention. Mind comes first. When you wake up, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. Most people wake up and immediately pollute their mind with external noise. They check their phone, they read the news, they scroll through social media. They fill their brain with other people's thoughts before they have even had one of their own. This is mental suicide. Your first hour must be a phone-free zone, non-negotiable, no exceptions, no excuses. Your phone does not touch your hand for the first 60 minutes after you wake up. This single rule will transform everything. When you stop consuming, you start creating. When you stop reacting, you start directing. When you stop letting the world in, you start letting yourself out. Use this time for your mind. Read something that elevates you. Journal your thoughts. Sit in silence and think. Pray if that aligns with your beliefs. Meditate if that serves you. The method does not matter. What matters is that your mind belongs to you in that first hour. You are programming yourself before the world tries to program you. Your morning, your rules, your life. Now let me give you the framework. Every bulletproof morning is built on 3 non-negotiables, 3 pillars that cannot be skipped, 3 elements that transform ordinary mornings into extraordinary launches. These 3 pillars are mind, body, and intention. Mind comes first. When you wake up, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. Most people wake up and immediately pollute their mind with external noise. They check their phone, they read the news, they scroll through social media, they fill their brain with other people's thoughts before they have even had one of their own. This is mental suicide. Your first hour must be a phone-free zone, non-negotiable, no exceptions, no excuses. Your phone does not touch your hand for the first 60 minutes after you wake up. This single rule will transform everything. When you stop consuming, you start creating. When you stop reacting, you start directing. When you stop letting the world in, you start letting yourself out. Use this time for your mind. Read something that elevates you. Journal your thoughts. Sit in silence and think. Pray if that aligns with your beliefs. Meditate if that serves you. The method does not matter. What matters is that your mind belongs to you in that first hour. You are programming yourself before the world tries to program you. Your morning, your rules, your life. Body comes second. Move your body before your mind has time to negotiate. This is critical. Your brain will always try to talk you out of physical effort. It will tell you that you are tired. It will tell you to start tomorrow. It will tell you that 5 more minutes in bed will not hurt. Your brain is a liar. The moment your alarm goes off, you have approximately 5 seconds before your brain starts generating excuses. 5 seconds. That is it. Within those 5 seconds, you must move. Feet on the floor. Stand up. Walk to the bathroom. Splash cold water on your face. Start moving and do not stop. Then exercise. And before you tell me you do not have time, let me stop you. You do not need an hour. You do not need a gym membership. You do not need fancy equipment. You need 10 minutes. 10 minutes of movement that gets your blood pumping and your body activated. Push-ups, squats, jumping jacks, a walk around the block, stretching. Whatever works for you. The type of movement is not the point. The act of moving is the point. When you move your body early, you send a signal to your brain that today you are in control. Today you are not a passive passenger. Today you are the driver. Move your body before your mind negotiates. Every single morning. No exceptions. Intention comes third. This is where most people fail completely. They wake up. They go through motions. They react to whatever shows up. They have no clarity about what they actually want from the day. Before you leave your house, you must set your intention. Ask yourself 3 questions. What is the single most important thing I must accomplish today? What would make today a win? What am I grateful for right now? These 3 questions take less than 2 minutes, but they change everything. They give your brain a target. They give your energy a direction. They give your day a purpose. Without intention, you drift. With intention, you drive. Write your answers down. Speak them out loud. Whatever method makes them real for you. But do not skip this step. Intention is the steering wheel of your day. Without it, you will end up wherever the chaos takes you. Now let me tell you the secret that separates those who succeed from those who fail. Your morning does not start in the morning. Your morning starts the night before. Win the night to own the morning. Let me say that again. Win the night to own the morning. What you do before you go to sleep determines what happens when you wake up. If you go to bed without preparation, you will wake up into chaos. If you go to bed with everything ready, you will wake up into clarity. Here is what you do every single night. Lay out your clothes. Everything. From underwear to shoes. Make 0 decisions in the morning about what to wear. That decision drains your battery. Eliminate it completely. Place your meals. If you eat breakfast, have it ready to grab. If you take lunch to work, have it packed. If you need coffee, have the machine ready to go. Every decision you eliminate in the morning is energy saved for what actually matters. Set your alarm with purpose. Place your phone across the room so you must physically stand up to turn it off. Once you are standing, you have already won the first battle. Write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. When you wake up, you will not waste time figuring out what to do. You will already know. You will hit the ground running while everyone else is still stumbling around confused. Go to bed at a time that allows you to get enough sleep. This is not negotiable. You cannot build a bulletproof morning on 4 hours of rest. Your body needs recovery. Your brain needs processing time. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is preparation for domination. Win the night. Own the morning. Now let me give you one more strategy that will protect your mental battery throughout the entire day. Leave 15 minutes earlier than you think you need to. For everything. Work, meetings, appointments, everything. Those 15 minutes are not about being early. Those 15 minutes are about being calm. When you leave early, you do not rush. When you do not rush, you do not stress. When you do not stress, you do not drain your battery on panic and frustration. You arrive with energy instead of anxiety. You arrive ready to perform instead of ready to collapse. 15 minutes, that is all it takes. Such a small adjustment, such a massive transformation. Most people will hear everything I just told you and do nothing. They will agree with it, they will think it makes sense, and then they will wake up tomorrow exactly the same way they woke up today. Chaotic, reactive, draining their battery before they even start. Do not be most people. Your morning is not just a morning. It is the foundation of everything. Every day you execute this system, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. Every day you ignore it, you are casting a vote for mediocrity. Your morning, your rules, your life. Win the night to own the morning. Own the morning to own the day. Own the day to own your future. This is how transformation begins. Chapter 2. Stop hitting snooze. Let me ask you a question, and I need you to answer honestly. How many times did you hit snooze this morning? Once? Twice? 5 times? 10 times? How many times did you hear that alarm and choose to stay in bed? How many times did you make a promise to yourself the night before and break it before your feet even touched the floor? Because here is what you need to understand. The snooze button is not harmless. The snooze button is not giving you extra rest. The snooze button is destroying your life one morning at a time. Every single time you hit snooze, you are making a decision, and that decision matters more than you realize. You are not just choosing 5 more minutes of sleep. You are choosing to break a promise to yourself. You are choosing comfort over commitment. You are choosing who you have always been over who you could become. Snooze is a vote against your future. Let me say that again so it lands deep. Snooze is a vote against your future. Think about what actually happens when you hit that button. Your alarm goes off. This is the moment you decided last night would be your wake-up time. You made a commitment to yourself. You set an intention. You told yourself that this was the time you would rise and take control of your day. And then the alarm sounds, and immediately you betray yourself. You reach over and you silence it. You tell yourself just 5 more minutes. You tell yourself it does not matter. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes, because tomorrow you do the exact same thing, and the next day, and the next. Every single morning becomes another broken promise, another vote for weakness, another confirmation that your word means nothing, not even to yourself. If you cannot keep a promise to yourself, how do you expect to keep promises to anyone else? If you cannot trust yourself to do the one thing you said you would do, how do you expect to build anything meaningful in your life? The snooze button is not about sleep. It is about self-trust. And every time you hit it, you destroy a little more of that trust. Now let me explain why this happens. Your brain is not your friend in the morning. Your brain is a survival machine designed to keep you safe and comfortable. And nothing feels safer and more comfortable than staying in a warm bed when the world outside is cold and demanding. The moment your alarm goes off, your brain immediately starts generating excuses. You are tired. You did not sleep well. 5 more minutes will not hurt. You can skip the gym today. You can rush through your morning routine. You can start fresh tomorrow. These are lies, every single one of them. But they feel true in the moment because your brain is brilliant at convincing you to take the easy path. Here is what you must understand. You have approximately 5 seconds between when that alarm sounds and when your brain takes over. 5 seconds. That is your window. In those 5 seconds, you must move. You must take action. You must get your feet on the floor and stand up before your brain has time to negotiate. Hesitation is the killer. The moment you hesitate, you have already lost. The moment you start thinking about whether you should get up, you have given your brain permission to generate excuses. And your brain will generate excuses all day long if you let it. Movement is the cure. Do not think, move. Alarm goes off, feet hit floor, stand up, walk to bathroom, splash cold water on face. Done. You have won. You have defeated the snooze monster before it could sink its claws into you. 5 seconds. That is all the courage you need. 5 seconds of movement before thought. 5 seconds of action before hesitation. 5 seconds that determine everything. But let me give you something even more powerful than willpower. Let me give you systems. You do not need more motivation to stop hitting snooze. Motivation is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. What you need are systems that make snoozing harder than waking up. First strategy. Put your phone across the room. Not on your nightstand, not within arm's reach. Across the room. Far enough that you must physically stand up and walk to turn off the alarm. Once you are standing, you have already won the first battle. Your feet are on the floor. Your body is vertical. The hardest part is over. Most people keep their phone next to their bed because it is convenient, but that convenience is killing them. When the alarm is within reach, snoozing is effortless. You do not even need to open your eyes. Your hand knows exactly where to go. You silence it without thinking and sink back into comfort. Make snoozing inconvenient. Make it require effort. Make it harder to stay in bed than to get up. Second strategy. Use an alarm that demands something from you. There are apps that force you to solve math problems or scan a barcode in another room or shake your phone 50 times before the alarm stops. Use them. Make turning off the alarm an action that requires your brain to engage. Once your brain is engaged, sleep loses its grip. Third strategy. Create a commitment contract with yourself. Write it down. Sign it. Put it next to your bed where you will see it the moment you wake up. The contract says one simple thing. I do not hit snooze. I am a person who keeps promises to myself. The alarm is a promise. I keep it. This sounds simple, but it is powerful. You are redefining your identity. You are not someone who is trying to stop hitting snooze. You are someone who does not hit snooze. Period. When your identity shifts, your behavior follows. The alarm is a promise. keep it. Fourth strategy, give yourself something to wake up for. This is about purpose. When you have no reason to get out of bed, staying in bed makes sense. But when you have a mission, when you have something you are building, when you have a future you are fighting for, staying in bed becomes impossible. What are you waking up for? Not your job, not your boss, not your responsibilities. What are you waking up for that belongs to you? Your business, your health, your growth, your dreams. Find that reason and let it pull you out of bed every single morning. Let me tell you what happens when you stop hitting snooze. You start to trust yourself. You start to believe that when you say something, you mean it. You start to build momentum that carries through your entire day. You arrive at your first task already victorious because you already won a battle before the sun came up. And that feeling of victory compounds. One morning of keeping your promise leads to another. 1 week leads to 1 month. 1 month leads to transformation. You become someone who does what they say they will do, and that person is unstoppable. The snooze button is a test. Every morning, life asks you a simple question. Are you going to keep your word, or are you going to break it? Are you going to vote for your future, or against it? Are you going to rise, or are you going to surrender? The alarm is a promise. Keep it. Starting tomorrow morning? No. Starting right now. Decide right now that you are done hitting snooze forever. Chapter 3. Move before your mind negotiates. Let me tell you about the most dangerous conversation you have every single day. It is not the conversation with your boss. It is not the conversation with your spouse. It is not the conversation with your co-workers or your friends or your family. It is the conversation with yourself. Every morning there is a war happening inside your head. The moment you wake up, 2 voices start fighting for control. One voice is pushing you forward. Get up, move, exercise, start strong, take control of this day. The other voice is pulling you back. Stay in bed, rest more. You are tired. You can skip today. You can start tomorrow. This second voice is louder. This second voice is more persuasive. This second voice knows exactly what to say to keep you comfortable. And if you give it even a few seconds of attention, it will win. Every single time. This is why you must move before your mind negotiates. Move first, think later. Action before contemplation. Motion before hesitation. The moment your feet hit the floor, you need to be moving towards something physical. Not checking your phone. Not lying in bed thinking about whether you feel like exercising. Not having a debate with yourself about what kind of workout to do. Just moving. Immediately. Without pause. Without negotiation. Here is what most people do wrong. They wake up and they start thinking. They lie in bed and consider how they feel. They ask themselves if they are in the mood to work out. They weigh the pros and cons of getting up versus staying comfortable. This is a fatal mistake. The moment you start thinking, you have already given your brain permission to generate excuses. And your brain is an excuse factory. It can manufacture 1,000 reasons why you should stay in bed. It can convince you that rest is more important. It can remind you of how hard yesterday was. It can promise you that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow is never different. Tomorrow you have the same brain generating the same excuses. Tomorrow you have the same conversation and you lose the same way. The only way to win is to refuse to have the conversation at all. Move before your mind negotiates. This is not about discipline. This is about speed. This is about closing the gap between alarm and action so tightly that your brain never gets a chance to intervene. 5 seconds. That is your window. Research shows that you have approximately 5 seconds to take action before your brain starts generating resistance. 5 seconds to go from lying down to standing up. 5 seconds to go from stillness to motion. 5 seconds that determine whether you win or lose the morning. When that alarm goes off, count backward in your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Do not think about moving. Do not plan to move. Do not consider moving. Just move. Feet on floor, body vertical, forward motion activated. And then keep moving. Walk straight to the bathroom. Splash cold water on your face. Drink a glass of water. Put on the workout clothes you laid out the night before. Step outside or onto the mat or wherever you exercise. Start moving your body before your brain catches up to what is happening. By the time your mind starts generating excuses, you are already 10 minutes into your workout. By the time that lazy voice says you should go back to bed, you are already sweating. The negotiation never happens because you never gave it space to happen. Now let me explain why physical movement in the morning is non-negotiable. When you sleep, your body goes into a state of rest and recovery. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your muscles relax. Your entire system powers down to repair and restore. This is essential. This is healthy. This is exactly what your body needs. But when you wake up, you need to reverse this process. You need to tell your body that rest time is over. You need to signal to every cell in your system that it is time to perform. And the fastest way to send this signal is through movement. When you exercise in the morning, you flood your body with endorphins. These are natural chemicals that make you feel alert and energized and optimistic. You increase blood flow to your brain, which sharpens your thinking and improves your focus. You raise your core body temperature, which tells your internal clock that the day has begun. People who exercise in the morning report higher energy levels throughout the entire day. They make better decisions. They handle stress more effectively. They are more productive and more creative and more resilient. And it is not because they are special. It is because they moved their body before their mind had a chance to negotiate them out of it. You do not need a 2-hour gym session. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not need a personal trainer or a perfect workout plan. You need 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes of movement that gets your heart rate up and your blood flowing. Push-ups, squats, lunges, jumping jacks, burpees, a brisk walk around the block, running up and down your stairs, dancing to your favorite song. It does not matter what you do. What matters is that you do something. What matters is that you move. 10 minutes of movement in the morning is worth more than an hour of exercise in the afternoon, because those 10 minutes set the tone for everything that follows. Those 10 minutes tell your brain who is in charge. Those 10 minutes establish a pattern of action that carries through your entire day. But here is what holds most people back. They have a picture in their head of what exercise is supposed to look like. They think they need to go to the gym. They think they need to lift heavy weights or run 5 miles or do some complicated routine they saw on social media. And because they cannot do that perfect workout, they do nothing at all. Perfection is the enemy of progress. A 10-minute imperfect workout done consistently beats a perfect 1-hour workout done occasionally, every single time. Consistency compounds. Perfection paralyzes. So lower the bar. Make it so easy that you cannot fail. Your only goal is to move your body for 10 minutes before your brain has time to talk you out of it. That is it. That is the entire system. Move before negotiation. 10 minutes minimum, every single day. Now let me tell you what happens when you stack these wins. Day 1, you move for 10 minutes before your mind negotiates. It feels hard. It feels uncomfortable. But you do it anyway. You win that morning. Day 2 is slightly easier. Your body remembers what it did yesterday. Your brain has one less excuse because you proved yesterday that you could do it. You win again. Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. Each day gets easier. Each day builds momentum. Each day reinforces the identity that you are someone who moves in the morning. You are not trying to become that person. You are that person. You have evidence. You have proof. You have a streak that you do not want to break. After 30 days, you will not recognize yourself. You will have more energy than you have had in years. You will be sharper at work. You will be calmer under pressure. You will be building muscle and losing fat and feeling genuinely proud of who you are becoming. And it all started with one decision. Move before your mind negotiates. This is not about fitness. This is about identity. This is about becoming someone who takes action instead of someone who makes excuses. This is about proving to yourself every single morning that you can be trusted. That when you say you will do something, you do it. That your word matters, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. Your mind will always try to negotiate. That is its job. It wants to keep you safe and comfortable and small. But you are not here for safe. You are not here for comfortable. You are not here for small. You are here for growth. You are here for transformation. You are here for greatness. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, do not give your brain a chance to speak. Move first. Think later. Win before the sun comes up. Move before your mind negotiates. This is how champions are made. Chapter 4. Silence is your secret weapon. Let me ask you something important. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? Not silence with music in the background, not silence while scrolling through your phone, not silence while the television plays softly in the next room. Real silence. Pure silence. Just you and your thoughts, with nothing else competing for your attention. If you cannot remember, then you have identified one of the biggest problems in your life. We live in the noisiest time in human history. Every second of every day, something is demanding your attention. Your phone buzzes with notifications. Your email pings with new messages. Social media feeds refresh endlessly with new content designed to hook your brain and never let go. Podcasts and music and videos fill every spare moment. Even when you are alone, you are never truly alone, because the noise follows you everywhere. And this noise is destroying you from the inside out. Your brain was not designed for constant stimulation. Your mind was not built to process endless streams of information without rest. Your nervous system was not created to be in a perpetual state of reaction and response. When you never give yourself silence, you never give yourself space to think. You never give yourself room to breathe. You never give yourself the opportunity to hear your own voice beneath all the external chaos. Silence is your secret weapon, and you have been ignoring it your entire life. Here is what happens in your brain when you are constantly surrounded by noise. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making and focus, becomes overloaded. Your stress hormones remain elevated because your body cannot distinguish between a notification ping and a genuine threat. Your ability to concentrate deteriorates because your attention is being pulled in 1,000 different directions simultaneously. You feel scattered because you are scattered. You feel overwhelmed because you are overwhelmed. You feel like you cannot think clearly because you genuinely cannot think clearly. The noise has invaded your mind and colonized your thoughts. But here is what happens when you introduce silence into your morning. Your nervous system calms down. Your stress hormones decrease. Your prefrontal cortex gets the space it needs to reset and prepare for the day ahead. Your thoughts slow down enough that you can actually observe them. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop being controlled and start taking control. Silence is not passive. Silence is one of the most powerful actions you can take. In a world that profits from your distraction, choosing silence is an act of rebellion. In a culture that wants you constantly consuming, choosing silence is an act of creation. You are creating space. You are creating clarity. You are creating the mental foundation upon which everything else is built. Now let me be specific about how to use silence in your morning routine. You need a minimum of 10 minutes of pure silence every single morning. Not negotiable, not optional. 10 minutes where you do not speak. 10 minutes where nothing speaks to you. 10 minutes of complete and total stillness. No phone, no music, no podcasts, no television, no conversation. Nothing but you and the empty space around you. This will feel uncomfortable at first, extremely uncomfortable. Your brain has become addicted to stimulation. It craves input like a drug addict craves a fix. When you take away the noise, your brain will resist. It will tell you, this is boring. It will tell you, this is a waste of time. It will generate anxiety and restlessness and an almost unbearable urge to reach for your phone. This discomfort is proof that you need this more than you realize. The more uncomfortable silence feels, the more addicted to noise you have become. The more your brain resists, the more essential this practice is for your mental health. Push through the discomfort. Sit with the silence. Let the restlessness wash over you without acting on it. After a few minutes, something will shift. Your breathing will slow. Your thoughts will quiet. A strange calm will settle over you that you may not have felt in years. This is your natural state. This is who you are beneath all the noise. This is the clarity that has been waiting for you all along. Now let me tell you what to do during these 10 minutes of silence. Option 1 is pure stillness. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly and deeply. Focus on nothing except the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When thoughts arise, and they will arise, do not engage with them. Do not follow them down rabbit holes. Simply notice them and let them pass like clouds moving across the sky. Return your focus to your breath, again and again and again. This is meditation in its simplest form. You do not need apps or guides or special techniques. Just silence and breath and presence. 10 minutes of this practice will sharpen your focus for the entire day ahead. Option 2 is intentional reflection. Sit in silence with a journal or notebook nearby. Do not write immediately. Just sit. Let your mind wander without direction. Let thoughts surface naturally. After a few minutes of stillness, ask yourself one question. What is the most important thing I need to focus on today? Then sit with that question. Do not force an answer. Let the answer emerge from the silence. Chapter 5. The Non-Negotiable List. Let me tell you the difference between people who build extraordinary lives and people who stay stuck forever. It is not talent, it is not luck, it is not intelligence or connections or circumstances. The difference is simple. Successful people know exactly what they will not compromise on, and unsuccessful people negotiate with themselves constantly. You have been negotiating with yourself your entire life. You set a goal and then you talked yourself out of it. You made a commitment and then you found an excuse. You decided to wake up early and then you hit snooze. You promised to exercise and then you convinced yourself that tomorrow would be better. You planned to work on your dreams after your job and then you told yourself you were too tired. Every single negotiation is a step away from the life you want. Every single compromise is a crack in your foundation. Every single excuse is a vote for mediocrity. And these votes add up. They compound. They stack on top of each other until one day you look in the mirror and you do not recognize the person staring back at you. This is why you need a non-negotiable list, a set of daily commitments that you honor no matter what. No exceptions, no excuses, no debate. These are the things you do regardless of how you feel, regardless of what happens, regardless of whether it is convenient or comfortable or easy. Non-negotiables are different from goals. Goals are things you want to achieve. Non-negotiables are things you refuse to skip. Goals live in the future. Non-negotiables live in today. Goals can be adjusted based on circumstances. Non-negotiables cannot be touched by circumstances. They are sacred. They are absolute. They are the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Let me explain how to create your non-negotiable list. First, you must understand that this list cannot be long. Most people fail because they try to make everything a priority. When everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. Your non-negotiable list should contain no more than 5 items, ideally 3. These are the essential actions that move your life forward. Everything else is secondary. Ask yourself this question: if I could only do 3 things every single day for the rest of my life, what 3 things would create the most transformation? What 3 actions would compound over time into an unrecognizable improvement in my health, my wealth, my relationships, my purpose? These are your non-negotiables. For most people, the list looks something like this. Move your body every morning. Spend time in silence or reflection. Work on your own goals for at least 1 hour after your job. That is it. 3 things. Simple, clear, unbreakable. Your list might look different. Maybe reading is essential for your growth. Maybe writing is how you process your thoughts. Maybe prayer is the foundation of your spiritual life. Maybe learning a new skill is critical for your career advancement. Whatever matters most to you belongs on this list. But here is the rule. Once something is on the list, it cannot come off. Once you decide that something is non-negotiable, you have made a permanent commitment to yourself. You do not get to renegotiate when things get hard. You do not get to skip it when you are tired or busy or stressed. You do not get to make exceptions for special circumstances. Non-negotiables are non-negotiable. The word itself tells you everything you need to know. Now let me tell you why this works so powerfully. When you have a non-negotiable list, you remove decision fatigue from your life. Every decision you make throughout the day drains your mental battery. Should I exercise or sleep in? Should I work on my goals or watch television? Should I wake up early or stay up late? Each of these decisions costs you energy. But when something is non-negotiable, there is no decision to make. You do not ask yourself whether you feel like exercising. You exercise. You do not debate whether you have time for silence. You make time. You do not negotiate with yourself about working on your goals. You work on them. End of discussion. This removes the mental burden completely. You are not spending willpower deciding what to do. You are simply doing what you already decided you would do. The decision was made once, and it applies forever. This is how you build discipline without exhausting yourself. This is how you become consistent without relying on motivation. This is how you create a life of action instead of a life of endless internal debate. Now let me warn you about the single biggest threat to your non-negotiable list. It is not external. It is not your job or your family or your circumstances. The biggest threat is you. Your own voice, your own excuses, your own ability to rationalize breaking your commitments. Your brain is incredibly creative when it comes to generating winners why today should be an exception. You did not sleep well. You have too much going on. You were getting sick. Something unexpected came up. You will make up for it tomorrow. Just this once will not matter. Every single one of these rationalizations is a lie. Just this once always becomes just this twice. Tomorrow always becomes next week. Exceptions always become the rule. And before you know it, your non-negotiable list has become a wish list. Something you do when it is convenient. Something you honor when you feel like it. This is why you must treat your non-negotiable list as sacred, as unbreakable, as absolutely non-negotiable in the truest sense of the word. When you wake up sick, you still honor the list. Maybe you modify the intensity. Maybe you do a lighter workout. But you still move your body. When you have an insanely busy day, you still honor the list. Maybe you shorten the duration. Maybe you do 10 minutes instead of 30, but you still do it. The act of showing up matters more than the performance. The act of honoring your commitment matters more than the outcome. You are not building a perfect routine. You are building an unbreakable identity. You are becoming someone who does what they say they will do, no matter what. This identity is worth more than any single workout or meditation session or hour of focused work. Because once you become that person, you become unstoppable. Once you prove to yourself that you can be trusted, your confidence expands into every area of your life. You trust yourself to start a business because you trust yourself to follow through. You trust yourself to pursue big goals because you trust yourself to show up daily. Your non-negotiable list is not about the tasks on the list. It is about the person you become by honoring those tasks. So right now, I want you to decide. What are your 3 non-negotiables? What are the 3 daily commitments that you will honor for the rest of your life? Not for a week, not for a month, forever. Write them down. Put them somewhere you will see them every morning. And then defend them with your life. Let nothing and no one convince you to break these commitments. Not your circumstances, not your feelings, not your excuses. These 3 things are sacred. These 3 things are non-negotiable. These 3 things are the foundation of the life you are building. Honor the list. Become the person. Transform your future. Chapter 6. Kill the noise, or the noise kills you. There is a war being fought for your attention every single day, and right now, you are losing. Badly. Every app on your phone was designed by teams of engineers and psychologists whose entire job is to keep you hooked. Every notification is calculated to trigger a dopamine response in your brain. Every social media feed is algorithmically optimized to make you scroll endlessly without ever feeling satisfied. Every news headline is crafted to provoke fear or outrage, because those emotions keep you watching. These are not accidents. This is not entertainment. This is warfare, and your attention is the territory being conquered. The average person checks their phone over 100 times per day. The average person spends more than 4 hours daily consuming digital content that adds nothing to their life. The average person wakes up and immediately reaches for their device before their eyes have even adjusted to the light. This is not living. This is being harvested. Your attention is the most valuable resource you possess, and you are giving it away for free to corporations that profit from your distraction. Kill the noise, or the noise kills you. This is not an exaggeration. This is the reality of modern life. Let me explain what noise actually does to your brain and your life. Every piece of unnecessary information you consume takes up mental space. Your brain has limited processing capacity. When you fill that capacity with social media drama and news cycles and meaningless notifications, you leave no room for what actually matters. You leave no room for deep thinking, no room for creativity, no room for focus, no room for building your future. You wonder why you feel scattered. You wonder why you cannot concentrate. You wonder why you start projects and never finish them. You wonder why your goals feel impossible to achieve. The answer is noise. You have so much garbage flowing into your brain that there is no space left for anything valuable to grow. Noise also keeps you in a constant state of low-level stress. Your nervous system cannot distinguish between real threats and perceived threats. When you read an angry headline, your body responds as if you are in danger. Cortisol releases, heart rate increases, muscles tense. This happens dozens of times per day as you scroll through content designed to trigger emotional reactions. You are living in a permanent state of fight or flight. Your body never gets to rest. Your mind never gets to calm down. You are exhausted, not because you are working hard, but because you are being constantly stimulated by noise that serves no purpose except to keep you engaged. This is why you must kill the noise, deliberately, ruthlessly, without compromise. Let me tell you exactly how to do this. First, you must control your phone. Your phone is the primary weapon being used against you. It is the portal through which all the noise enters your life. If you do not control your phone controls you. Start with notifications. Turn off every single notification except calls and text messages from real humans who actually matter to you. No app notifications, no social media alerts, no news updates, no email pings, nothing. Every notification is an interruption. Every interruption breaks your focus. Every broken focus costs you mental energy and momentum. When you need to check something, you will check it on your own schedule. You will not be summoned like a trained animal every time some algorithm decides to ping you. You are in control, not your phone. Next, eliminate the first hour phone check completely. We discussed this earlier, but it bears repeating. Your phone does not exist for the first 60 minutes after you wake up. Put it in another room. Put it in a drawer. Do whatever you must to create distance between you and that device during your most important hour. The same applies to the last hour before bed. Your phone does not exist during this time either. The blue light disrupts your sleep. The content stimulates your brain when it should be winding down. The noise pollutes your subconscious right before you enter the most restorative phase of your day. Protect the first hour. Protect the last hour. These are your sacred times. Now let me talk about the information you consume deliberately. Not all content is noise. Some information genuinely helps you grow. Books that teach you skills, podcasts that expand your thinking, courses that build your capabilities, content that moves you toward your goals. This is signal. This is valuable. This should stay. But you must be ruthlessly honest about what is signal and what is noise disguised as signal. Watching motivational videos for 3 hours is not growth. It is entertainment dressed up as productivity. Reading news articles about things you cannot control is not staying informed. It is anxiety fuel that changes nothing. Scrolling through social media to see what others are doing is not connection. It is comparison that steals your peace. Ask yourself a simple question about every piece of content you consume. Does this directly help me achieve my goals or improve my life? If the answer is no, it is noise. Eliminate it. This requires discipline because noise is often more appealing than signal. Noise is easy. Noise is entertaining. Noise gives you quick dopamine hits that feel good in the moment. Signal requires effort. Signal challenges you. Signal demands something from you. But signal builds your future, while noise destroys it. Create boundaries around your information consumption. Decide in advance what you will consume and when you will consume it. Maybe you read for 30 minutes in the morning. Maybe you listen to one educational podcast during your commute. Maybe you watch 1 hour of intentional content in the evening. Whatever your boundaries are, honor them completely. Outside of these boundaries, no consumption. No mindless scrolling. No endless browsing. No falling into rabbit holes that steal hours from your life. You are in control of what enters your mind. Now let me tell you what happens when you kill the noise. Space opens up. Mental space. Emotional space. Creative space. You will be amazed at how much clarity emerges when you stop filling every moment with stimulation. Thoughts that have been buried for years will surface. Ideas that never had room to develop will suddenly expand. Problems that seemed unsolvable will reveal their solutions. You will feel calmer. Your nervous system will finally get the rest it has been craving. The constant low-level anxiety will begin to fade. You will sleep better. You will think clearer. You will feel more present in your actual life instead of being mentally absent while physically present. You will have more time than you ever imagined. Those 4 hours per day that were being stolen by noise will return to you. 4 hours per day, 28 hours per week, over 100 hours per month. What could you build with 100 extra hours every single month? The noise is killing you slowly. It is stealing your attention, your energy, your time, your peace, your potential, your future. It is keeping you distracted and anxious and stuck. But you have the power to end this, right now, today. Kill the noise before the noise kills you. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Chapter 7. Stack small wins into unstoppable momentum. Let me tell you the secret that separates people who transform their lives from people who stay stuck forever. It is not willpower. It is not motivation. It is not some magical ability to push through pain and difficulty. The secret is momentum. And momentum is built through small wins stacked on top of each other, day after day after day. Most people fail because they try to change everything at once. They wake up one morning and decide today is the day they will become a completely different person. They will wake up at 5 in the morning and exercise for an hour, and meditate for 30 minutes, and eat perfectly, and work on their goals for 3 hours, and read for an hour, and never check social media again. All at once, starting immediately. And within 3 days, they crash. They burn out. They fail completely and feel worse than when they started. They tell themselves they are not disciplined enough. They tell themselves they do not have what it takes. They tell themselves that change is impossible for someone like them. But the problem was never them. The problem was the approach. They tried to climb the entire mountain in one step, and that is not how mountains are climbed. Mountains are climbed one step at a time, one small movement after another. Each step builds on the previous step. Each step creates momentum that makes the next step easier. And eventually you look back and realize you have climbed higher than you ever thought possible. This is how lasting change works. Small wins stacked consistently over time. Let me explain the psychology behind this. Your brain is wired to resist change. Dramatic change triggers fear and resistance because your brain interprets it as a threat to your survival. The bigger the change you attempt, the more resistance you will face. Your subconscious mind will sabotage you. Your willpower will deplete rapidly. Your motivation will evaporate when the initial excitement fades. But small changes fly under the radar. They are so minor that your brain does not perceive them as threatening. They do not require massive willpower. They do not trigger intense resistance. They slip past your defenses and quietly become part of who you are. When you stack enough small changes together, they become massive transformation. But it happens so gradually that your brain never panics. It never triggers the self-sabotage mechanisms that destroy most attempts at change. This is the power of small wins. They are sustainable in a way that dramatic changes never can be. Now let me show you exactly how to apply this to your morning routine. Do not try to build a bulletproof morning overnight. Do not attempt to go from waking up at 9 to waking up at 5 in one jump. Do not try to add 10 new habits to your routine simultaneously. This is the path to failure. This is how you guarantee that nothing will stick. Instead, start with one small win. Just one. Make it so easy that failure is almost impossible. Maybe your first small win is simply putting your phone in another room before bed. That is it. One tiny change. Do this every night for 1 week until it becomes automatic, until you do not even think about it anymore, until it is just part of who you are. Once that win is locked in, add another. Maybe now you wake up 15 minutes earlier than usual. Not an hour earlier, not 2 hours earlier, 15 minutes. Such a small change that your brain barely notices. Do this for another week until it becomes your new normal. Then add another small win. Maybe now you drink a glass of water immediately upon waking, before coffee, before anything else. Just one glass of water. Another tiny change. Another week of consistency. Another habit locked in. Then another. 5 minutes of movement. Not an hour. Not 30 minutes. 5 minutes. Stretching. Push-ups. A short walk. Something so small that your excuse-generating brain cannot find a valid reason to skip it. Do you see what is happening? Each small win is a building block. Each block stacks on top of the previous blocks. After a few months, you have built a tower of habits that looks impressive from the outside. People ask how you became so disciplined. They think you have some special ability they lack. But the truth is, you just stacked small wins, one at a time, consistently. This is how unstoppable momentum is created. Now let me explain why momentum matters so much. When you are standing still, everything feels hard. Starting feels impossible. Motivation is required for every single action. You have to push yourself constantly just to move forward. This is exhausting. This is unsustainable. This is why most people give up. But when you have momentum, everything changes. Motion becomes the default. Continuing feels easier than stopping. Habits run on autopilot without requiring willpower. You are no longer pushing yourself uphill. You are rolling downhill with gravity working in your favour. Momentum builds on itself. Each win makes the next win more likely. Each successful morning makes the next successful morning more probable. Each day you honour your commitments reinforces your identity as someone who honours commitments. And that identity drives future behaviour more powerfully than any motivation ever could. This is the compound effect in action. Small wins stacking over time create exponential results. The person who stacks one small win per week has 52 new habits by the end of the year. 52 building blocks. 52 layers of transformation. 52 reasons to trust themselves. But the person who tries to change everything at once has nothing. They crash and burn in the first week. They end the year exactly where they started. Or worse, they end the year more convinced than ever that change is impossible for them. The difference is not discipline. The difference is strategy. The difference is understanding that small wins, stacked consistently, beat dramatic attempts every single time. Now let me give you one more critical principle. Never break the chain. When you start stacking small wins, you create a chain of successful days. Day 1, you complete your small win. Day 2, you complete it again. Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. Each day adds a link to the chain. Each link makes the chain stronger. Each link makes you more reluctant to break it. Your only job is to not break the chain. Chapter 8. Consistency is the only strategy that works. Let me tell you something that will save you years of wasted effort. There is no secret formula. There is no hidden hack. There is no magic technique that successful people are hiding from you. The only strategy that actually works is the one nobody wants to hear. Consistency. That is it. That is the entire secret. Show up every single day and do the work. Not sometimes. Not when you feel like it. Not when conditions are perfect. Every single day. Without exception. Without negotiation. Without excuses. This is the most boring advice you will ever receive, and it is the most powerful. Everyone is looking for shortcuts. Everyone wants the quick fix. Everyone wants to know the one weird trick that will transform their life overnight. They buy courses and read books and listen to podcasts, hoping someone will finally reveal the secret that makes success easy. But there is no secret. There is only consistency. There is only showing up when you do not want to. There is only doing the work when every fibre of your being wants to quit. There is only honouring your commitments when nobody is watching, and nobody would know if you skipped just this once. The person who exercises every day for a year will always beat the person who exercises intensely for a month and then quits. Always. No exceptions. The person who writes one page every day will always finish more books than the person who waits for inspiration to strike. The person who wakes up early every single morning will always outperform the person who does it only when they feel motivated. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Let me explain why this is true. Your life is not determined by what you do occasionally. Your life is determined by what you do repeatedly. One incredible workout does nothing for your body. 1,000 average workouts transform you completely. One night of perfect sleep does not restore your health. 1,000 nights of good sleep makes you unstoppable. One morning of focused intention does not change your trajectory. 1,000 mornings of disciplined execution rewrites your entire destiny. Everything that matters is built through repetition. Your habits are repetition. Your skills are repetition. Your relationships are repetition. Your identity is repetition. You are not what you did once. You are what you do consistently. This is why consistency is the only strategy that works, because nothing else compounds. Nothing else builds on itself. Nothing else creates the accumulated power that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Now let me tell you what kills consistency, because understanding the enemy is the first step to defeating it. The first killer is waiting for motivation. Motivation is a lie. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Some days you will wake up feeling energized and excited to attack your routine. Most days you will not. If you wait for motivation to show up, you will be waiting forever. Consistent people do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They rely on commitment. They rely on the decision they made once and the refusal to renegotiate that decision. They show up on the days they feel like it and on the days they do not. The feeling is irrelevant. The action is everything. Stop waiting to feel like doing it. You will never feel like doing it consistently. Do it anyway. That is what discipline means. The second killer is perfectionism. Perfectionism convinces you that if you cannot do something perfectly, you should not do it at all. It tells you that a short workout is worthless, so you might as well skip it entirely. It tells you that a disrupted morning routine is ruined, so why bother trying to salvage any of it? It tells you that inconsistency has already broken your streak, so there is no point continuing. This is a trap. This is how perfectionism destroys progress. By convincing you that anything less than perfect is failure. The truth is that something is always better than nothing. A 5-minute workout is infinitely better than no workout. A shortened morning routine is infinitely better than no morning routine. A partial effort on a hard day is infinitely better than complete surrender. Consistency does not require perfection. Consistency requires showing up. In whatever capacity you can manage, on whatever level you can execute, just show up, do something, keep the chain alive. The third killer is all or nothing thinking. This is closely related to perfectionism, but slightly different. All or nothing thinking says that if you miss one day, everything is ruined. You might as well give up entirely. You missed Monday, so the whole week is lost. You broke your streak, so you have to start over from zero. This is catastrophic thinking, and it destroys more progress than anything else. Missing one day does not erase your progress. Missing one day is just one day. What matters is what you do next. Do you miss 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month? Or do you get back on track immediately? The consistent person misses a day and returns the very next day. The inconsistent person misses a day and lets it spiral into missing a month. One missed day is not failure. Staying down after you miss is failure. Get back up immediately, every single time. The fourth killer is comparing your journey to others. You see someone else who seems to have it all figured out. They wake up at 4 in the morning and run marathons and meditate for hours and build empires before breakfast. And you feel like a failure because your progress seems so small in comparison. But you are comparing your beginning to their middle. You are comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes struggle to their highlight reel. This comparison is unfair and it is destructive. Your only comparison should be to who you were yesterday. Are you more consistent than you were last month? Are you showing up more than you used to? Are you building momentum that did not exist before? That is all that matters. Your journey is your journey. Stay in your lane and focus on your own progress. Now let me tell you what happens when you choose consistency as your only strategy. In the beginning, nothing seems to happen. You show up every day and you do not see results. You exercise and your body looks the same. You wake up early and your life does not change. You work on your goals and they seem just as distant. This is the hardest phase. This is where most people quit. But if you keep going, something magical happens. The compound effect kicks in. All those invisible efforts start stacking on top of each other. All those daily deposits start earning interest. All that accumulated consistency starts producing visible results. One day you look in the mirror and you notice your body has changed. One day you realize you have more energy than you've had in years. One day you see that your goals are suddenly within reach. One day people start asking what your secret is. And the secret is that you just kept showing up, day after day after day, through boredom and frustration and doubt, through days when you saw no progress, through weeks when you wondered if any of this was worth it. You kept going anyway. This is the path. There is no other path. Consistency is the only strategy that works. So let me leave you with this challenge. Whatever morning routine you build from this audiobook, commit to it for 1 year. Not 1 week, not 1 month, 1 full year. 365 days of showing up. 365 days of honoring your commitments. 365 days of proving to yourself that you can be trusted. At the end of that year, you will not recognize yourself. Your body will be different. Your mind will be different. Your confidence will be different. Your entire life will be different. Not because you did anything extraordinary, but because you did ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. Consistency is not exciting. Consistency does not make for viral content or dramatic transformations. But consistency works. It is the only thing that works. It has always been the only thing that works. And now you know. Show up tomorrow. Show up the day after. Show up every single day for the rest of your life. That is the strategy. That is the secret. That is everything. You have heard everything you need to hear. There are no more secrets. There are no more strategies waiting to be revealed. The only thing standing between who you are right now and who you could become is action. Let me remind you what you now know. Your morning is not just a morning. It is the foundation of your entire life. Bad mornings compound into bad days. Bad days compound into bad weeks. Bad weeks become bad months. Bad months become bad years. And bad years become a wasted life. Your mental battery starts at 100% every single morning. Stop draining it on chaos and noise and things that do not matter. Protect it ruthlessly. Save it for what actually counts. Your job, your goals, your future. What you do after your 9 to 5 determines where you will be in 10 years. If you come home empty every night, you will never build anything that belongs to you. Guard your energy so you have something left to invest in your dreams. Stop hitting snooze. Move before your mind negotiates. Embrace silence. Build your non-negotiable list. Kill the noise. Stack small wins. And above all else, stay consistent. Consistency is the only strategy that works. The only one. Now, here is your challenge. Tomorrow morning, you will wake up and you will have a choice. The same choice you have always had. You can hit snooze and scroll your phone and stumble into another reactive, chaotic day. Or you can own your first hour. You can build your bulletproof morning. You can start becoming the person you were always meant to be. The information is in your hands. The decision is yours. What will you choose? Your new life is waiting. It starts tomorrow morning. Do not waste it.